The first thing to break the silence was the sound of something dragging. 3:33. The phone screen burned those numbers like a warning. Valerie shot upright, thin blanket in her lap, heart hammering in her throat. "Hello?" Her own voice seemed to shrink inside the crooked little place she'd rented because there was nowhere else left to go. Her flashlight swept across wide gaps in the plank walls, suspended dust, threads of web sparking, the sour smell of damp mixed with a soft floral that didn't belong to anywhere. The pantry door gave a one-note creak. Nothing. Almost. In the corner, as if it had always lived there, stood a small plaster figure of the Virgin, paint peeling, eyes intact. It hadn't been there when she lay down. Hours earlier, the rental agent, thin, jittery, a cigarette for courage, had refused to step inside. "Ma'am, I'm not going in. People don't last here." She counted what she had left, tucked the rusted key into her coat, and stayed. It was this or the street. Newark was in the rear view like a city sinking in memory. A husband taken by the silence of another home, a job that didn't come back with her health, a bank that never hugs. 3 grown kids scattered across the map, and her grandmother's wooden rosary, the only thing that felt heavy enough to calm her. On the warped front porch, wind whistled through the slats like people trading secrets. Far off, the blue dome of St. Mary's Basilica caught the last of the daylight, a lighthouse that didn't warm. "At least I can see you from here," she whispered, crossing herself with a small, almost shy gesture, like asking permission to breathe. Night fell without crickets. No dogs. A quiet that drank any sound it was given. She tried to pray, and the prayer came in broken pieces. "God, if you can hear me." As if each word had to cross a desert. When sleep finally came, it wasn't rest. It was surrender. 3:33. The drag. The beam finds the statue. Valerie holds her breath. The shiver that runs through her isn't cold. It's memory. Her grandmother saying certain hours open doors we can't see. She lifts the statue carefully. The plaster is lighter than it looks. On the base, almost erased, a hand-inked plea, "Refuge of the afflicted, pray for us." The words light up a dark corner inside her. Morning pushes through the patched blue tarp roof. Valerie sets the statue on a crate by the porch rail. "If you showed up here, you stay. Company, at least." The day stretches long, like winter laundry on a line. She walks a mile and then some to Mrs. Cora Bennett's place. Cold water in a deep sink. Soap that bites the fingers. Not much talk. She returns with counted bills and a sack of rice and beans that weighs exactly as much as her question. Can you start over this far from everything? At night, with the candle lit and the shadows dancing, she peels potatoes and stares at a valley dropping away, pine dark, as if it held a story nobody tells. The scent of roses drifts in. Absurd here. The knife pauses mid-air. A chant rises, gentle, rounded, Latin like the old Saturday movies she watched with her grandma. The sound doesn't come from one place, it comes from everywhere. "Who's there?" she asks, more out of habit than courage. The chant ebbs like a small wave. When sleep almost takes her, the light comes. Not a blinding flash, an easy blue that breathes. It slips through every gap, strokes the tired walls, and rests on the little statue. Valerie drops to her knees, unsure if what she feels is fear or homesick hope. "Mother Mary, what's happening to me?" The blue lingers, then recedes slowly, leaving the air perfumed like a newborn's room. She spends what's left of the night with her grandmother's rosary twisted in her fingers, trying to remember the Our Father without stumbling. At sunrise, She decides not to run from what she doesn't understand. She sweeps the porch, moves old boxes, brushes webs aside with the back of her hand, centers the statue, and circles it with wildflowers she finds near the crooked fence. I don't know how to pray right, she admits to no one, but I know how to stay. Day 2. The body tires, the mind argues. On her way back from work, Mrs. Bennet clocks her scraped hands, but says nothing. Valerie walks faster through the stretch of shade, as if the little place might miss her. When she arrives, the candle she'd watched die now burns steady. At the statue's feet, a white lily, fresh, still kissed with dew. She brushes a petal and warmth climbs her arm, making room in a chest that's been all wall. The crying comes without warning, the childhood kind that cleans the corners. Whatever this is, I'm staying. That night, for the first time in a long while, she doesn't ask. She listens. The valley answers with the murmur of water no map shows. And when her phone insists again on 3:33, she knows it isn't coincidence, it's a call. Valerie takes a breath, retrieves an old spade she found in the pantry, faces the backyard and its packed, stubborn dirt, and makes the first strike. The next afternoon she confides in Mrs. Bennet, who nods like someone remembering. Honey, that shack's got history. A devotee lived there, Bernadette Monroe. Folks said she saw the Virgin. One day she vanished. Nobody's stayed since. The information doesn't scare Valerie. It fits. That night she dreams. Pines like dark choir stalls. A woman in blue and white just ahead. They reach a clearing where water rises cold and clear between stones. The woman turns, not plaster now, but alive and gentle. Daughter, beneath the ground where you stand lies a secret that needs to be found. Dig where the water sings, and you'll uncover what was hidden out of love. Valerie tries to speak. Wakes with a start. 3:33. On the porch, the perfume is almost intoxicating. At the statue's feet, another white lily. She touches it, and heat runs up her arm, space opening where only ache had been. When the light is clean, she takes the spade outside and digs where, in the dark, the ground had whispered like a creek. Blisters rise. Her forehead burns. Her resolve wobbles. Then iron knocks wood. Not a rock. A box. She drops to her knees and clears the dirt with her hands. A small chest, wrapped in oiled cloth. Inside, a rosary strung with blue beads, a worn leather journal, and a black and white photograph. Middle-aged woman in a plain black dress, holding a statue much like Valerie's. On the back, ink answers the hunch. Bernadette Monroe, handmaid of Our Lady, 1950. The journal's script is steady. I write so that, when I am gone, someone will know what happened here. In 1948, I promised the Virgin that if my boy came home alive from war, I'd pray for the afflicted. He returned. I moved into this shack. She began to visit me. She said this place would be a refuge for the hopeless. But first, a secret needed guarding. Under this soil is a blessed spring, water that eases body and soul. Protect it until the right person comes. The message is heavy and bright at once. Valerie thinks of running and instead seeks help. She remembers Father Patrick over at St. Mary's, walks to the parish with the journal, the photo, the rosary in a sack. He listens without interrupting, blue eyes steady. I know this story, he says finally. My predecessor spoke of Bernadette. Folks called it a legend. You brought proof. The next morning he shows up with 2 seminarians, Gabe and Luke. They pray, they breathe, they decide. In the noon heat, A thin vein of water breaks and widens, clear and cold. Father Patrick touches it, tastes. It's pure. Luke washes his face and starts to cry. It feels like someone's holding me. Samples go out. A geologist says a spring shouldn't be there. A doctor confirms. Potable, clean, nothing special, which makes it special. But word won't stay small. A woman with cancer comes to drink. A man with pain in his spine asks to wet his back. A feverish child sleeps in her mother's arms. Valerie doesn't know any protocols. She knows how to share cups and whisper the Our Father. Stories return like echoes. Better scans, pain-free nights, fever's gone. One wild evening, a couple rushes up the path. The young woman is 8 months along and in early labor. No time for the hospital. Valerie freezes. I don't know how to do this. But the scream chooses for her. Gabe runs for towels. Water warms on a camp stove. Valerie takes the girl's hand. Mother Mary, I don't know, but you do. The baby slips into the world fast, strong, unharmed. The mother cries. The father crumples. On that slanted floor, life sets up house. Her name is Mary Hope, the mother says, smiling. And you're her godmother. When the line of visitors becomes a quiet pilgrimage, Father Patrick asks for order. The bishop allows a temporary chapel. Simple altar, wooden benches, the little statue at the center. With candles come questions. A city physician, Dr. Andrew Carter, leads the skeptics online. Placebo, exploiting faith. The parish forms a review board with doctors, theologians, and scientists. 3 months of forms, tests, interviews. The conclusion is honest. We can't prove miracles. We can't disprove the unexplainable. The debate peaks when Dr. Carter shows up on a Saturday with a TV crew to expose everything. He steps in camera first, questions sharpened. Can you explain how ordinary water heals people? Or will you admit this is theater? Valerie breathes, eyes wet. Doctor, I can't explain a thing. I came here ready to die. I had no faith left, and the Mother of God found me. If this is theater, it's the best I've ever seen, because I was healed from the inside out. That's when the light returns, not a flare that blinds, a blue that wraps. The statue on the altar glows softly, as if it's breathing. The floor feels steadier. People fold to their knees. The cameraman keeps filming by reflex. The doctor goes pale. His hands shake. His eyes flood. The light lingers a few minutes, then withdraws, leaving a fragrance of roses strong as memory. Doctor. Carter drops to his knees and weeps in silence. All he can say is, I saw. The segment meant to debunk becomes a witness the whole country watches. Specialists analyze frame by frame, color by color. No one can pin it down. In time, the diocese recognizes the place as a shrine, Our Lady, refuge of the afflicted. The shack comes down. A simple, clean chapel rises. The spring sits protected under glass. Water is given out in small bottles. Valerie lives next door. No plaque, no pomp. An apron on the chair, a kettle always ready. People call her the keeper. She shrugs. I just stayed when everyone left. One by one, her kids come home. Jessica arrives on a Sunday, face washed with tears. Mom, I'm sorry. The hug answers. The twins come later. In the little yard, they put up new walls and rebuild old bridges. On a clear December night, Valerie sits alone in the chapel, rosary in hand, a good quiet in the air. She senses someone beside her and looks. For a breath of time, she sees the woman from the photo. Gray hair, plain black dress, the smile of a promise kept. You finished the work, child. The refuge is open. The vision closes like a door that refuses to slam, leaving roses and a peace that needs no proof. In the morning, Father Patrick finds Valerie on a bench, eyes rested. "Father," she says, "I dreamed of Bernadette. She said it's all right." He smiles. "It is, child. It is." Years roll like beads on a string. The spring never runs dry. Stories arrive like unaddressed letters, of pain eased, faith mended, hearts stitched back together. Valerie, now with more lines and fewer wounds, sits in the same place, praying softly, greeting strangers, handing out water, telling her story to anyone who needs a chair for their hope. "I was a broken woman," she says without shame. "The mother gathered my pieces. Now I help gather others." And if you happen to pass the chapel in the small hours even now, some swear they hear a gentle Latin hymn and see a blue light resting on the roof when the clock clicks to 3:33. When they tell Valerie, she smiles like someone who recognizes footsteps. That's Bernadette. She's still praying for us, and the mother is still listening. This story reminds us that true energy comes from within, the kind that renews us every day. If this story touched your heart, check the pinned comment to discover products that inspire renewal and balance. Leave a like and subscribe to join us in our next story.